This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. We keeping the foot on the what? On the X. We keeping the foot on the what? On the X. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Now in this video, we got to give Derrick James his credit. Derrick James, bar none, is the trainer of the year. Derrick James has built up a great stable. And if Rudy Poo and Plum Plum brings classic dopes and troglodytes, ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric don't want to see what Derrick James is doing in boxing, then you're not a true boxing fan. Derrick James has basically taken over the mantle. He's taken the torch of what the Mayweather gym, the Mayweather club has done, with Mayweather Sr. and him advancing in age. We see now Derrick James is that guy. Yes, they're not as slick as the Mayweathers. They're not as, on the toes as the Mayweathers. But they do the same on the toesness from a different aspect. They focus on technicality. They focus on the fundamentals. They focus on being athletic and explosive. This is how Derrick James builds his camp. This is how Derrick James builds his stable up of training. His fighters are going to be the most athletic, they're going to be the most explosive, they're going to be the most technical, and they're going to be the most fundamental. Let me say it again. They're going to be the most athletic, they're going to be the most technical, they're going to be the most fundamental, and they're going to be the most explosive. And that's what you see with Errol the True Spence. That's why he's the Megalodon shark of the welterweight division. He has no predators. He is the predator. That's why Errol the True Spence say, you can't hunt the hunter. Did you not understand where that terminology came from? What I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Hear me? Hear me? Well, you can't hunt the hunter. It's a Megalodon shark reference because the Megalodon shark has no predators. It is the predator. And then we see Jermell Charlo, how he's improved, how he's developed, how Jermell Charlo has taken his game to the next level, how Jermell Charlo is damn near one belt away from being undisputed. He's a lineal super welterweight champion. If you are a fight fan, you will acknowledge this. This is a rarefied company and a rarefied feat. The same Charlo brothers that they said were Charlo sisters. Look at Jermell Charlo and what he's accomplished. Even though he's not part of the Derrick James stable, we got to give Jermell Charlo credit too. Dispatch an opponent. Look 10 times better than that opponent. Look like that opponent didn't even belong in the ring with him. Damn near had both this guy's eyes shut. If y'all not putting respect on the Charlo brothers' name, you ain't a real fight fan. And if y'all not putting respect on Derrick James' name, you're not a real fight fan. I don't give a fuck if you don't like them. Let me say it again. I don't give a fuck if you don't like them. But you better put respect on their name and you better talk highly of them if you are a fight fan. Because this is what true fight fans do. This is what people that have the responsibility as media or so-called media thereof, basically having the similitude of media but lacking the fullness thereof. Let me say it again. Having the similitude of media but lacking the fullness thereof. You're supposed to, even if it's somebody you don't root for, talk good about them. Have you guys seen how many times I've talked good about Vasily Lomachenko and how I respected the fact that he stopped fighting Toyota Corollas, i.e. Anthony Crolla and the Luke Campbells of the world, and now he done took on an arduous test in the super duper hype job variation of Teofimo Lopez. I'm giving him credit for that. And I put him number 3 on my pound for pound list. My pound for pound list is number 1, Errol the True Spence. Number 2, Jermell Charlo. Number 3, Vasily Lomachenko. Number 4, Gervonta Tank Davis. And number 5, Deontay Wilder. And I can argue that thing down with the best of them. Let me say it again. Yes, I said it. I fucking said it in true alpha extraordinaire, governed by true alpha economics, ability, fashion, and orientation. Errol the True Spence is number 1. Jermell Charlo is number 2. Vasily Lomachenko is number 3. Gervonta Tank Davis is number 4. Deontay Wilder is number 5. It's what have you done for me lately? This is what the standard of the pound for pound list used to be. And when Derrick James has 2 guys in his staple, that's number 1 and number 2 on the pound for pound list, salute goes out to that damn trainer, dog. Derrick James can potentially get something that we have not seen in boxing before. Trainer of the decade. Let me say it again. Trainer of the decade. Because this guy makes sure his fighters are too athletic. He makes sure his fighters are too explosive. He makes sure his fighters are too technical. And he makes sure his fighters are too fundamental. Because in sparring, he does something in boxing that's a lost art. It's called sparring wars, i.e. iron sharpens iron. Let me say it again. He does a lost art in boxing, which is called iron sharpens iron, sparring wars. That's what's happening with Jermell Charlo and Errol the True Spence. You saw how Jermell Charlo talked so highly of how Errol the True Spence taught him technique. Whew. That's an airfield fighter in Errol the True Spence. This is why this platform got behind Errol the True Spence. Because he got behind greatness personification. And this is why he knows his sport is so proud of the damn Charlo brothers. Because they try to shit on the Charlo brothers. You had insecure and miserable as you know what in their lives. Motherfuckers try to say Charlo sisters. What the fuck is that? It's as if the Charlo brothers banged your fucking chick. It's as if the Charlo brothers did something to you that you didn't like. But look at what the Charlo brothers are doing. Look at what Jermell Charlo is doing. An unprecedented feat that we haven't seen since Winky Wright. This is something that if you're a fight fan and you're not talking about, then you're not really a fight fan. Errol the True Spence, the calendar year he had at the welterweight division, dominated the opponents that he dominated. Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia. Lamont Peterson is a boxing aficionado. Mikey Garcia was number 4 on the pound for pound list when Errol the True Spence regressed him into a what? A Uber, a Lyft, and a hold up. Hey, taxi, Tijuana cab driver fighter. And then Errol the True Spence basically made Sean Porter bend the proverbial fucking knee in the 11th round. Made him do a full knockdown. Come on, man. You don't get no calendar year like that. And you're not on Ring Magazine. And they give it to Oscar Valdez. I can't wait till Shakur Stevenson expose his ass. Let me say it again. Oscar Valdez, because he's a Golden Boy Promotions. And we know Ring Magazine is run by Golden Boy Promotions. That's why nobody respects the ass. Because you have an all-American Texas dude that represents Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that's the American team. That's the American dream. That's the American story. You don't put him on your cover because you want to put an Oscar Valdez. Get the fuck out of here. I can't wait till Shakur Stevenson expose that motherfucker. Derrick James gets the biggest salute from He Knows the Sport. Because if ain't nobody gonna talk about him, He Knows the Sport is gonna talk about him. He has a new title. It's called Trainer of the Decade. And if anyone argues against that, I will, in Tibetan master, keep the foot on the what? On the X. And keep the foot on the what? On the X. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.